Get Girl Coached is about the fact that too many girls are still leaving sports. You know, by the age 17, half of girls are not playing sport. They're not getting the benefit that sport offers for them in that moment and for their entire lives. And a big reason why is that sport wasn't actually designed with their needs and interests in mind. And so Get Girl Coached is, hey, let's listen to the experts. Let's flip the script. Let's put the girls in charge. Let's hear them talk about what they're looking for, their wants, their needs, their interests, and then let's make that happen for them to get them playing and to keep them playing as long as possible.
It's sort of a way of flipping the mic. So I'm going to flip the mic over to you two as well, Mariana and Emme, because I think it's important to talk about the why. Why do you get into sport? Where does that love come from? So Mariana, I'll start off with you. What was your first introduction, of course, to karate?
So I was like always a sporty kid, so I tried like soccer, swimming, dance. None of them really worked. But then someone told my parents, we were like, hey, there's a karate place at the community center if you want to try it. And I guess that's kind of where it all started. I think that simple interaction of someone just telling me about a sport and telling them that I would have fun in that sport is what grew me into being who I am today.
Absolutely. And Emme, what was your first intro to rugby?
Well, at first I always did dance. Like dance has always been like the one I always did. I did it when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, and I stuck with that company. But then when I started getting like a bit older, I was like, I want to try like some other sports. So I did soccer. I tried hockey this year, but none of them were like my favorite. So I was like, my dad grew up in the UK, so he always played rugby. And he was always like talking about it, but I never showed any interest. But I was like, oh, you know what, give it a try. And I like loved it. Like it was love at first sight.
And then it's very interesting that you're saying that now, because look at what the Canadian women are doing
Yes.
in rugby right now and just how far things are going. Marianne, for yourself, what you've been able to do personally. So when you hear about these stories and the whys that bring girls to sport, why does the why then turn into the why not as girls get older in sport?
Girls talk about the fact that the quality of the experience isn't quite there. They don't feel like their coaches understand them to the degree that they would like. And so some of that stuff is a little bit intangible in some respects, but then there's also some really tangible inequities, like never getting the good ice times or the good fields, you know, the qualified coaches, different sorts of things that just really make girls feel like they're not valued and they don't belong in sport.
When you guys are looking about the things that you need to be great, what are those items that come to mind? Emme needs to have this present in order to go out there and do her thing. Mariana needs this. What are those ideas that come to mind? She's like, I've got a list.
Girls, not just me, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel girls need support and not to be treated like boys, like where we want to like just jump in the mud and like do whatever. We want to have a plan and we want to like know what we're doing instead of just being like thrown into like you'll figure it out. No, we need to have a plan. We need to like know what's going on so we can practice and get better at that sport.
Yeah, what I think we need is more like, we just need to be shouted out more. I feel like girls are really hidden in the sports side of things. I feel like boys are really the main entertainment source when it comes to watching soccer or hockey or baseball. So I feel like bringing girls into the spotlight, I feel like that would definitely be like a huge impact for everybody in sport.
We make a lot of assumptions about young people in general, but definitely about girls in sport. And so if we've got a sport ecosystem that really wasn't designed for them, and then we're trying to add them into it and we're treating them as if they're boys, we're gonna miss some really important things. And so I think this is why, you know, Get Girl Coached. It's about listening to girls, asking them, just like you are, what makes sport great for them? What makes them hesitate? What would make it even better? A big part of that is encouraging them to stay as long as possible. And that means, I think, being able to see what's next. Would you agree?
Yes.
What's ahead? What's available for me here?
Right.
It doesn't mean that everybody's going to go pro, but it creates that idea and that opportunity or that potential, and then you see where it leads you.
Okay, listen up. Right now, half of us girls drop out of sports by age 17. We need to step up our game. Miss Sung, let's work on getting us better court times. Mr. Morris, remember, more sponsors means more girls on the field. And Coach Weber, Dad. Thanks for making a space where girls feel heard.
The more we listen to girls, the more they stay in the game. Get girl coached at keepgirlsplaying.ca.
Well, the first practice I ever went to, we were in the rain and it was pouring and I could barely see 1 foot in front of me. And the coach led me to the other girls and I was super nervous. I was like, oh, are they gonna talk to me? I'm new to this team. And they lost it. They were screaming. They were like, yay, yay, it's a girl, another girl, yay. Maybe we can have all girls team. They were so excited. One girl came up to me and she just gave me a big hug. And I was like, I love this. This is such a good community that we're building already in the first 5 seconds.
And I can kind of see it with you both, and I'd love for you to share, is that sport, as we know, it doesn't just prepare you for the performance aspects of things. It prepares you for life. There's so many life lessons and things that I would say that I've come into only because of sport. I learned how to be a better teammate. I learned how to be confident, all of those things. What are you guys learning so far about just who you are as young women, navigating the space, navigating the world, and what can you see that you have yet to learn through sport?
For me, what I've learned a lot about sport is how much it connects with other people as well as the discipline. Right now, all of my friends, they're wanting to go pro in basketball, wanting to go pro in soccer, wanting to go pro in volleyball. And I feel like having that goal of moving up in the sport connects us all to be one big community that supports each other, that loves each other. And as well as we know what we need to do to get to that goal, and we're not planning on giving ourselves disadvantages by doing stuff we're not supposed to do. We're staying focused, we're eating healthy, getting the sleep, doing the work, and for all of my friends there, I know that they're gonna succeed just like me.
Absolutely. It's like having a goal and being incredibly disciplined to reach it no matter what that is. I think why you guys are perfect though is, I just said rugby, of course, that's on the rise. We all know what Canada's doing, but karate is one of those sports where it's very individual, it's very different, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously community there, there's always support there, but I think that leads to a next step for this research that you guys are doing. When we think about keeping girls participating in sport, we think of what? Basketball, soccer, kind of the bigger, more popular, let's say, and that could be an assumption sport. So how do we show up for the more individual sports, the sports that might not get the love that it truly deserves?
Well, one of the things that I think both of you have spoken to is actually the opportunity to try a bunch of different things and find the thing that really works for you. And we just never know what's going to appeal to a young person. And so rather than pigeonholing girls into specific sports, maybe some of those ones more traditionally associated with girls, giving the opportunity, karate and rugby are kind of non-traditional sports for girls. And here you have found your community and your passion there. How cool is that? But we have to ensure that there's just a wide range of sports available to kids. And in fact, being a multi-sport athlete sets you up really, really well, because then you get those skills and you can move confidently throughout your whole life.
I'll ask you guys this to wrap us up, because you both should be just so proud of just how you show up for not only yourselves, but other young girls. So there is someone that's watching this right now on a team and might need support in figuring out how to advocate for themselves. What kind of advice would you give?
Girls need more representation, so if you have the chance, do it. Who knows, maybe you'll be the best at that sport, or maybe you won't, but that's okay, because there's so many different opportunities you have. So if you have the chance, I would just say do it.
For me, I would be girls are athletes too. So just take the risk. Just like she said, there's nothing holding you back. Just try it out, see if you enjoy it. If you don't, that's okay. If you do, keep going forward. Don't let anybody stop you, because you're gonna get where you wanna get with that hard work.
We're all about the systems change, and that's really about embedding these sorts of things so that every girl that comes through the system is having a better experience than the one before her. And so we're looking for transformation at the end of the day, in every different space. That means, more women coaching. That means different education for coaches. That means better policies, just more investment in this space in general, so that, the pie grows bigger and we can invite more people in, because we truly believe in the power of sport, not just for the right now, but for really transforming the opportunities that women have in our society. And this is good for everybody.
I'm just so glad that other girls watching this can be like, oh, that could be me. Like, I could go pro.